So we communicate every single day, right? But how often do we actually stop and think about how it all works? Well, today on The Explainer, we're going to do just that. We're deconstructing the hidden science behind what is probably our most fundamental skill, connection. You know, we often look at those really charismatic speakers or super smooth negotiators and think, wow, they just have a natural gift, some kind of magic they were born with. But what if that's not really the whole story? What if the ability to connect isn't just an art, but a science? What if we just reframe this whole thing, not as some fixed talent you either have or you don't, but as a learnable, almost mechanical skill that literally anyone can get better at? I mean, that changes everything, doesn't it? Suddenly what seemed mysterious and innate becomes systematic and improvable. It's a skill you can build, just like learning to play the piano or drive a car. And that's the core idea from our source material today. It's just a fancy way of saying communication is a series of coordinated moves that we learn and get better at through practice. So if it is a skill, how does the machinery behind it actually work?
Okay, so if communication is a skill, that means there has to be a process, right? A kind of blueprint we can actually follow. So let's build that blueprint, piece by piece, and see the machinery that's running behind every single conversation you have.
Every single interaction, and I mean every one, even just a simple hello, kicks off with some kind of motivation or goal. Now, this could be totally conscious, like I'm going to ask for a raise, or it could be completely subconscious, like just wanting to feel a little bit of connection. The main takeaway here? Communication is always trying to achieve something.
Next up, you take in the situation through your senses. But here's the thing, you can't possibly process everything all at once, so your brain acts like this amazing filter, automatically zeroing in on what's most important for your goal and just tuning out the rest of the noise.
And this is the really crucial internal step. All your thoughts, your emotions, your past experiences, they all act as this personal lens, coloring how you interpret the information you just took in. This is where you make sense of it all and figure out, okay, what's my next move?
So based on all that internal processing, your body's response system kicks into gear. Your voice, your facial muscles, your hands, they all implement a plan. And this comes out as the words you choose to say, and just as importantly, all the nonverbal stuff, like your tone of voice and your posture. See, communication is never a one-way street. It's a dance. You're constantly watching for cues from the other person, their reactions, their body language. And at the exact same time, you're also getting feedback on your own performance. This creates this continuous loop that's informing your very next move in real time.
And here it is, the complete model. A dynamic, 5-part cycle that's running on autopilot in every skilled communicator. So now let's zoom in on a really critical part of this blueprint, because it's where we get most of our information.
A huge, huge amount of the information flowing through this loop doesn't come from what is said, but how it's said. You know, those unspoken cues are often where the real conversation is happening. Our source material points to 4 key channels for communication. And notice something kind of mind-blowing here. 3 of them are totally nonverbal. We're talking everything from subtle facial expressions to paralanguage. That's the tone, pitch, and speed of your voice, all the way to your posture and gestures.
And this is where it gets really interesting. This points to the power of what scientists call microexpressions. These are these tiny, fleeting, involuntary facial movements that can give away a person's true feelings, especially if they're trying to hide something. It's a wild reminder that our faces often tell a story that our words are trying to cover up.
But here's the thing. Even if you've mastered this whole loop and you can read nonverbal cues like a pro, that's still not enough. The true sign of a great communicator is knowing how to adapt all of it to the specific situation you're in.
Okay, so picture this first scenario. You're at a super casual, rowdy party with your best friends after a big game. The vibe is relaxed, it's informal, your behavior totally fits in.
Now, let's take that exact same behavior, the loud singing, the same jokes, and just drop it into this completely different environment. A really formal dinner with your boss. All of a sudden, what was totally fine is now, completely out of place. So, same person, same behaviors. Why the drastically different outcomes? Well, the answer is simple. Context. Social skill isn't just about having the tools in your toolbox. It's about knowing which tool to use for which job. It's not just having a powerful serve. It's knowing when and where to aim it.
Researchers actually have a name for this. They call it interpersonal adaptability. And the crucial point is this: just having a behavior doesn't make you skillful.
The real skill is knowing when to use it, deploying the right action for the right context at the right time.
So what does all of this mean for you? Well, it means your next conversation isn't some kind of test of your innate talent. Nope, it's a practice session. It's a chance to consciously work on a skill that you can absolutely improve.
And you can use this blueprint as your own practice framework. Before you even speak, set a simple goal. During the conversation, actively observe the context and watch for that feedback. And then afterward, and this might be the most important part, take a second to reflect on what went well and what you might try differently next time.
When you start seeing every interaction as an opportunity to practice these skills, you shift your entire mindset. It's no longer about judging yourself. Was I good? Was I bad? It's about growth and improvement. It's about asking, okay, what can I work on next?
So now you have the blueprint. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.